Well, good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome into Delta Force's PC Open Beta Reveal. We're talking weapons, vehicles, monetization. Folks, we are here for the third week in a row to tell you everything you need to know about the PC Open Beta that is right around the corner. I'm Goj. I'm going to be your host today, and we've got some amazing special guests I'll introduce in just a little bit. Before I bring them in, I need to remind you of a couple things as you hop into these broadcasts. We are live all over the place. You need to make sure to go follow Delta Force on all of their major socials, folks. I think we're live on like 4 or 5 different channels. They've got every social media you can think of, including Reddit. We've got our own subreddit now. I think they've got fandom even to help you learn how to learn the game. This is a big moment to follow all those socials before the open beta so you can get all the info you need and also a lot of info about maybe some upcoming events you might be able to get involved in. So a lot going on the social medias. Go follow them. But also, by the way, I think we should tell you that, yeah, the PC Open Beta, it's right around the corner, folks. The open beta is December 5th. This is so close. I can't even believe I'm saying it. Way less than a month at this point, only a couple weeks. And by the way, in terms of time zones, if you are here in the US, this is actually releasing at GMT 00, which is essentially December 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So December 5th official launch. But if you're in the US, a little bit earlier based on those time zones. And also make sure to go wishlist the game on Steam one last time. This helps out the team a ton and also is a great way to get all the info and notifications on when your region technically goes live. Now, folks, as per the usual, I'm the man of the people on these broadcasts. I'm here for you. So we've got some more giveaways throughout this broadcast. Make sure you stay tuned. We've got 3 different rounds of giveaways, starting with some nice Amazon gift cards, then some Razer Black Widow V4 keyboards. These things are sick. And then finally, towards the end of the broadcast, we're giving away real-life Mandelbricks. I'm talking things you can put in the back of your stream setup if you're a streamer, or on top of your fridge if you're not. Wherever you want to put it, that's up to you. But make sure you tune into the broadcast for a chance to win one of these. These are super, super cool. So yeah, we've got a lot going on. But look, here's a simple fact. You don't need to listen to me talk by myself all day. We've got a ton of amazing guests. We got some content creators. We got some developers. Let's bring them in and get this thing started because we got a lot to talk about. I've got Landmark, I've got Stone Mountain 64, and I've got Sean and Gundam, some developers at Delta Force. Sean, Gundam, I want to start with you. Thanks for being here, and we're so excited to have you. How are you guys feeling?
Good. We are thrilled to be here and share with you our earliest status of our game. And we are open to any feedbacks from you guys.
Amazing. That's my favorite part of these broadcasts is we always get to talk about the feedback and the changes you guys are making. Stone Mountain, I'm going to you, man. Stone, it's great to have you onto the broadcast. I know you've got a ton of time in this game as well. How you feeling about this whole thing and getting to learn more?
Yeah, I appreciate the invite, the chance to sit down with you guys as well. Really appreciate it. I've played a lot of this game, and I've tried to hold back a little bit for myself for the full launch as we see more of this stuff coming out. So excited to have the chance to talk to you guys and yeah, get into it.
Heck yeah. Yeah, we're glad you're here. And then Landmark, welcome back to another Delta Force broadcast, my man. You've been around the block with Delta Force. It's good to have you back.
Yes, sir. Good to be back. Feeling great. Really excited to see what the devs have been cooking up lately and all the changes they've been making and all the work they've been putting in on this game. So it's been exciting to see how it's evolved, just in the short amount of time that we've been able to play it.
Beautiful. I totally agree. It really has evolved a lot, and it's evolved even more than we know as we get to talk a little bit about that today. Now, the last 2 weeks, gentlemen, we had a chance to talk specifically about Warfare game mode, specifically about Operations game mode. Today, we're talking weapons, vehicles, and monetization, specifically weapons and vehicles to start. Now, Sean and Gundam, you guys are responsible for the weapons and vehicles in the game and making sure they're balanced. So I want to get into it. Give me kind of the overview of the weapons and what people can expect with the open beta.
Okay, so overall, there will be 50 weapons in the PC open beta, spanning all categories from pistols to sniper rifles, including cutting-edge weapons like M7, M250, and Type 191. We've referenced real-world weapon designs to faithfully recreate both their appearance and functionality. From firing to handling to sound effects, everything has been sourced from real-world counterparts to ensure authenticity. We also created numerous inspect and reload animations for each weapon to showcase their unique details and features.
Yeah, and I think we've got a really cool video actually to start things off about the kind of sound design in particular. So let's roll the video and see what it has to say.
Over the span of the last 2 weeks, we've been in 3 different locations. We were at the Twin Pines Ranch, where we recorded a bunch of gun tales and a very interesting locations. We were able to record near this canyon that had some incredible gun tales. We recorded interiors too, where we got big rooms and small rooms. And then our second location was actually at the Warner Brothers lot, where we recorded Foley. We recorded magazines going in and out of the guns, we recorded bolts, we recorded all the mechanical parts as well of the guns. And then this here in Bakersfield, Five Dogs Ranch is our third location. Like I said, we're here to record more of the close-up perspective. When we got tails last week, this time we're more in getting the close-up because our game is first-person perspective. We want to get that close in, like around all microphones all around and on the gun, get that kind of experience like it's the 1P player.
Wow, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever seen a video like that where you get to see where all the mics are placed around the weapons. Landmark, what'd you think about that one? It's super cool to see the behind the scenes.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. I'm super into firearms myself, and seeing them record sounds like outside of a building to simulate like a different sound effect was really cool too. This is all right up my alley, so that was awesome. I love that.
Yeah, Stone, I saw you smiling, man.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't have all the experience Landmark does with all that too, so I feel like it's a little bit even more special for me to see that and see all the cameras and everything around that to get the super accurate sounds. That would be really fun to be on scene for that and see all of that actually getting done. I think that would be epic.
Yeah,
but that's good. I mean, it adds to
time.
Yeah, dude. It adds to the immersion so much more when you have all the sounds, even like the reload and even the like extra jiggling of just trying to get the magazine in and everything. It's super cool.
Yeah,
I tell you went all out.
Yeah, I very, very cool stuff. I love that we get a chance to see the behind the scenes. Sean Gundam, I mean, the behind the scenes is great, but we got to talk about the guns in game. Talk to me a little bit about what we can expect with the weapons, the best weapons, what we should look into going into the open beta.
Okay, let's head straight to the firing range for a close look to our weapons. So in the game, players can play with M7 with realistic physics. You can engage enemies to hip fire, ADS, and various tactical stances. To enhance immersion, Delta Force features an in-depth weapon stat system where players must consider factors like firepower, fire rate, recoil, handling, stability, accuracy, range, and muzzle velocity. All 50 weapons have their own distinct features and feel.
Yeah, this is I mean, this is one of my favorite parts of the game, right? Is trying to figure out exactly what weapons to use, which ones are best for you, but we're gonna get a chance to see some of the new weapons potentially in game.
Yeah, take the M250 for example we're looking at. It fires 6.8 by 51 millimeter rounds with exceptional penetration and firepower, but comes with significant recoil and slower handling compared to the M7. And we can see the stats here. And whereas for other weapons, like MP7 offers faster movement and hipfire accuracy, allowing for more agile movements.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I think
I like the LMGs.
Yeah, that looks sick.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, right? Like Stone, like this is what you guys do as content creators. I mean, you not only pick which weapons you think are the best and what you can use, but also create content around all the different weapons and how you can use them so your community's trying to figure out how to play the game.
Yeah, even if it's not necessarily like the best, a lot of times there's just guns that are really fun to use. Like, I mean, you get an LMG with a gigantic magazine on it, you can post up somewhere. I mean, you know, it may not always be the best for pushing or depending on the operator you're running with, trying to, you know, get the mantle brick, whatever. But if you get a good position, hold down an exit or something, it could be good.
Yeah, and one of the things I love to do is find like new ways to use existing guns. So when you have like You can think about using an LMG. You know, Stone's talking about posting up somewhere, but when you have a bunch of different options for kitting out that gun, you can maybe find a way to use it as like an aggressive run and gun type of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a great point. I mean, there's a lot of ways to customize the weapons. We're going to get into that in a second. But the other key note, Sean Gundam, we talked a little bit about this, but I'd love for you to go into detail about how the weapons differ even in game mode specific, right? Because operations and warfare are a totally different game mode, and what you might use is very different.
Yeah. So next, I will demonstrate how Delta Force weapon feature different stats for warfare and operation modes, tailored to match the two different game modes. So in operations, players need to take a more considered approach when engaging enemies, as weapon damage is extremely lethal. In addition, weapons perform significantly different depending on their value. You can see there's different pricing set to them, and is related to their power.
Yeah, there's a lot of options too. I mean, gentlemen, you guys know this. There's a ton of attachments that you can include on your weapons that obviously changes the value of the weapon, which means, you know, how much more valuable is it when you head it actually into operations, and hopefully you don't lose that weapon.
And on the other hand, in warfare, we focus more on weapon balance and fairness. As you can see, the warfare mode is very dense with players, and threats can come from all angles. We don't want players to get too frustrated. So these distinctions highlight the necessity for us to design different weapon sets for both modes.
Super interesting. I mean, you know, we take a look at kind of the last part of this, and even the gameplay differences, the chaos of warfare versus operations makes a ton of sense. I mean, Landmark, I think you've had a chance even on broadcast with us to play both game modes a lot. You can kind of see some of the weapon differences and what you obviously would prefer. But I love that point they made about the price of the weapon has to matter when you're in the operations game mode in particular.
Yeah, I mean, that's just another like tool or slider they have to adjust the balancing where you can have really strong, cool, kind of overpowered guns. And the balance is just they cost a lot of money and you're risking more bringing it in and someone else can take that from you.
Yeah, and Stone, I mean, I would love to hear from you. First, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. Which game mode do you prefer? Do you have a favorite between the chaos of warfare versus operations?
Yeah, I think, I mean, for me, the extraction is really fun.
Yeah.
Going in and having that, like, that risk to the point. I had a couple of opportunities. I actually took somebody down and took their arm. You know, you want to talk about the price of guns and having something that's overpowered, that's insanely overpowered, but balanced by the economy of it, right? And
Yeah.
so going in with that and then having each bullet, I literally sold my entire inventory of everything just to bring in 15 bullets of this thing, which was like, you know, it's the cost is insane, but then the power that comes with that is like, it's such a rush that yeah, that's really very much my style. I still like having the quick respawn mode as well for, you know, just testing things out. And you guys even mentioned there's differences in balance between that. I'm curious if there's even, you know, different statistics for the weapons within that where you tone that down for it. I think I would assume there is, but
Yeah.
you know, that's still a good opportunity to at least try the gun, see how the bullet velocity is, see how the drop is. I always really love to snipe in a lot of video games that I play, and you know, getting some of the time in with it, so then you don't just run into the map the first time you ever use it, kind of like I did, and you're trying to figure out the lead and the drop while you're shooting it is a little bit more challenging, especially when you're spending all your money and pretty much every shot is worth the value of another fully kitted gun. But yeah.
That's actually facts, though. I mean, you saw even the M250. I think in that small video, there's a brief glimpse of it, like 500,000 technic alloy or something like that. So I love this idea of the economy balancing also weapons versus warfare, where all the weapons are, you know, free or in the sense that equal in terms of value. It's just about unlocking them. Really cool stuff. Well, in order to keep moving, the weapons in particular, there's a lot of customization options, Sean and Gundam. Specifically, talk to me about the Gunsmith system, because as expected, it is quite dense.
Yeah, indeed. Delta Force features more than 1,000 firearm modification parts with almost 20 modification slots available on each gun. The Gunsmith customization system does not only allow players to tailor their weapons according to personal preferences and tactical needs, but also serves as an excellent platform to showcase creativity and skill. And despite there's a vast number of firearm attachments, customizing weapon is still a very simple and almost intuitive process in Delta Force. We are not super strict about installation rules and conflicts. Instead, we allow players to preview and customize their weapons instantly and automatically detach and attach the conflict parts during each swaps. And also, Delta Force features numerous attachments with unique functions. Beyond the standard furniture types, such as grips, stocks, and barrels, we've added many common real-world attachments, such like mag pouches, handguard rails, and adjustable gas blocks, which changes fire rate and other stats. So additionally, we included a wide array of attachments to meet gameplay and tactical needs, such as laser size, tactical flashlight, bipods, and rangefinder, etc., stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot that can be added onto these weapons. And sometimes, I'd be playing operations and spend like an hour just kitting out my guns. Landmark, talk to me, man. You play a lot of games like this, obviously extraction-based games. Talk to me about the Gunsmith, system here in Delta Force. How does it kind of line up with other games you played?
Yeah, it is very, very in depth, but like you were saying, it streamlines a lot of the aspects where there's not a lot of conflicts with the different parts, and you don't need to be like a real world expert to build out your gun. Like the game kind of walks you through it, but there's so many different ways to build your gun and customize it and say, hey, I want to turn this into a long range gun, or I want to make this, close quarters running gun, get in people's faces. But the game gives you a lot of options, and it's very simple to do. And even in that video, we saw an awesome feature where you can share the codes of your guns.
Yeah.
So if you wanted, like, hey, dude, like you're playing with your friends, like, hey, I made this awesome gun, check it out. You can just copy and paste the code to him, and he can build that same exact gun. Doesn't have to go through all 25 different attachments on it to spend 20 minutes making it. So that's a really good feature they got going.
Yeah, and just in terms of like obviously it's an overwhelming amount of attachments on all the guns for it, but because you can actually build it for just clicking a drop down, selecting it, copy and pasting a loadout, it makes it really easy. And then I didn't even do too much of the tuning like they showed in the video, like where you can change where the attachment is on it. It's not just tuning it for like number's sake, it's also changing the visual look of the gun. I thought was sick, whether it's even like how close the optic is to your eye, or where the attachment is. The level of customization is insane on it. And same thing with like the respawn multiplayer side of it. Even the way that you unlocked the weapons, I really appreciated how you kind of can spend tokens from your other progression and then just quickly level up a sniper, get a lot of the attachments for it that you want, figure out the builds, and just kind of tune it without a lot of restrictions. You can make a super sick gun if you want to have the angled grip on it and have it look cool. You got it. I love that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you even mentioned it with snipers. Sean, Gundam, looking at specific play styles, you guys created specific attachments that help out specific play styles. The first thing that comes to mind in particular is like the long range snipers. Talk to me a little bit about the different attachments that can affect the way long range sniper players would play.
Well, as I mentioned above, I said we've recently developed rangefinders for snipers to use, and also we are working on a scope that can help with motion prediction. So you see where your enemy is going and aim with it from long range. These are some unique attachments we make to cater to needs of long range snipers. And also beyond that, beyond the basic stats previously mentioned, we also have we also make attachments with more specific aspects, such as vertical and horizontal recoil, ADS speed, movement speed, well, ADS, and change the things that change gun kick and camera shake while firing. So all these stats can be separately customized according to your needs.
Yeah, I mean that's best case scenario for all of our sniper mains out there, Stone. Right?
Yeah, that's insane.
Right? I've never heard of the motion prediction scope. I'm curious to see what that looks like. That sounds really
I like some of the
I-
range finding that's in some of the optics, so you kind of know, like you can kind of calculate some of the drop, but if it's predicting for you, that sounds insane.
Yeah, that's wild. I'm really pumped to see what that looks like in games. So, fun. You guys also mentioned the calibration system. Stone, you had mentioned kind of the tuning, right? Of like each individual attachment can be tuned. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Sean, Gundam, talk to me about calibration in particular and kind of what that brings to the Gunsmith.
So the idea here is to allow players to fine-tune weapon performance in depth, allowing weapons to truly fit their preferences. Like during calibration, players can visually observe changes to the weapon model, such as the length of the stock and the position of the foregrip. And the core of the calibration system lies in its high customizability and precise adjustments. Players can make such adjustments to various weapon stats based on their playstyle and combat needs. You can find corresponding options for bullet velocity, recoil control, stability, in-scope sight view, and magnification.
Yeah, Landmark, I think I've tuned into your streams enough. You'll sit there and build out weapons for a while, right? So do you sit there and calibrate like individual attachments to be exactly what you want?
I mean, I will if it's an option, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. If there's a way to make it, just a little bit better, I'll do it. Or if you can put some stuff on there and tune it a certain way that kind of breaks the intended use of it. I always love that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I like turning like a sniper into a shotgun, basically, and turning an LMG into a submachine gun. I love doing that. So, and the more tools they give us to play around and change the feel of the guns, the better.
Yeah,
likewise. I kind of like to do even like build it for, if you build out a hip fire build or something for it, especially sometimes my aim is not the best, but if you can build something nice for just kind of running and gunning and spraying, that's nice. And so that's kind of, I see some of the most potential for those tweaks, as well as just visually kind of making it cool as well. I always like that.
Making it look sick.
And being able to put all the attachments
you
on.
Swag when you play too.
A lot of times there's trade-offs to where you just end up leaving a lot of stuff off of guns, and I've felt like on this you could just throw a bunch of stuff on and make it decked out.
Yeah, and I love what you said before is like, if you don't want to use the calibration system, you still have a very valuable weapon that's really usable, right? And if you do want to get into the nitty gritty of fine tuning every single attachment, be my guest, because there's going to be a lot of menus and a lot of sliders you can play around with. And it tells you what's happening when you're doing that, right? It's not just kind of guesswork, which is super cool. So I'm pumped about the calibration system for sure. And then the big note, you guys already saw this in the video. You already brought it up. I know content creators are looking out for this because this is your bread and butter. Sean, Gundam, talk to me about the easiest ways you could share your weapon builds. I love this feature. When you build a great weapon, you have good accessories. Can you just copy and paste that? How does that all work?
Oh, as you can see, you can save your customization to a code, and other players can simply copy and import it to instantly replicate your setup. So what we want here is to encourage you to share your customization codes to your friends, or try codes from other players to experience a wide range of unique Gunsmith results.
Best case scenario. I mean, how many times, Landmark, are people in your chat like !M7 or whatever weapon you want?
I'm thinking as a content creator, being able to just put in like a spreadsheet with all the codes for the guns I like, and just people can just copy paste them and recreate them exactly the way that I use them. That's super awesome. And just, even when you're playing with your friends, it's cool to just be able to send them quickly instead of like taking a picture of like your entire build with when it has 20 pieces on it, it really streamlines the whole process, and it makes it easier for people to get into the game as well.
Yeah, if it's like a starting point, even just of like, hey, this is the build, and then you can tweak off there, especially for people that maybe if they're trying a gun for the first time and don't even know really where to start, but they have so many attachments to go through. If you've kind of already got, build from a creator or a buddy, whatever, you don't have to go through, especially all the slots. And this one, do this, and this one, do this. It's such a good quality of life thing in general that, honestly, it's incredible to already see that the game's going into beta, not something that's going to be coming a year down the road or something.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Agree. Totally agree. The amount of like Discord novels I send with like 35 screenshots of my weapon builds to friends is insane. So I can only imagine it's great for everybody, including just people playing at home. Well, amazing. Sean's been breaking down all the weapons rather, but Gundam Week. It's time to talk about some vehicles. All right, vehicle gameplay is something that everybody loves, especially obviously in the warfare mode where there are a ton of options. Talk to me just generally about vehicles and the overview of what we can expect in the open beta.
Okay. In Delta Force, vehicle provides superior firepower, protection, and mobility compared to infantry, making them crucial for both faction to push frontline and provide fire support. In the PC open beta, we'll have a total of 10 vehicles across 4 major categories, including tanks, weather vehicles, helicopter, and assault force, covering combat and driving experience across land, sea, and air. When we developing vehicles, we implemented a physical engine to try and make everything as realistic as possible, including engine power system for ground vehicles, motor lift, mechanic for helicopters. So we have given each vehicle their own distinct driving mechanic and appropriate simulation state based on their real-world profiles to offer more authentic and realistic handling.
Yeah, I love vehicle gameplay. It's also a great way for me to warm up. Before I need to warm up my aim, I need to just warm up the sticks in general if I'm using the controller or the mouse and keyboard. If not, so Stone, talk to me. Look, you've got some great vehicle content out there. I gotta say, when you step into the perfect voice of Stone Mountain 64, so talk to me about vehicles in general and kind of some of the stuff Gundam was just talking about.
Yeah, the nice thing with vehicles is you can stay alive really well in them. Usually, there is some good counters in this, and you got to choose the right class to kind of counter it and everything with it. But usually, you got some good power, especially with the way that you can call it in and kind of access it at any point. But the realism of the vehicles with how they look, I think, is great. That's one of the things that's got me into a lot of different games over the years, is just getting that kind of epic feel of the vehicles and getting the chance to actually like drive something. Obviously, I would never even probably get to see, let alone be in. But then on top of that, being able to have some power alongside it is it's good for whether you're role playing a game and just trying to immerse into it or whatever. But I feel like with the scale of the maps that are here, it actually fits, especially because of just how many players there are. If this was 5v5, 6v6, you probably couldn't have that or have it as powerful as it is. Yeah. But when you have these giant combat scale, like I just love that in games.
Yeah, and I think that's the key too, is like it has to be not only balanced but also optimized so that it's really fun to play and not overpowering. So Gundam, I want to go to you and talk a little bit about like how we optimize vehicles, what can we use them for, and kind of like how players can customize their vehicle experience as well.
Okay. Beyond the unique driving experience, the biggest difference between vehicle and infantry is their diverse and highly variedness. We have nearly 15 different weapon systems implemented for vehicles, including direct fire cannons, anti-aircraft autocannons, howitzers, machine gun and guided missiles, and rockets. Vehicle operators can enjoy a completely different combat experience compared to the provided by standard rifles. And we know each player will have specific requirements for vehicles combat effectiveness. And in the PC open beta, player can unlock and equip different weapons through the customization system. This lets you create firepower configuration that match your favorite playstyle. For tanks, you could equip high explosive shell for devastation anti-infantry explode damage, while also arming your passengers with weapon stations such as machine gun to turn your tank into a terrifying anti-infantry platform. However, this comes at the cost of reduced anti-vehicle capability, or you could add ammo pressing shells or wild guard missiles to transform your tank into the ultimate vehicle hunter. Of course, different states of match can call for different vehicle firepower requirements. For the next version, we will introducing an in-match modification system that allows players to adjust their vehicle loadout based on how the battlefield has shifted.
Wow. Yeah. There is a lot going on here, which I love. Landmark, we were talking about customization of weapons. Now you can customize vehicles, not only before the match starts, based on whatever you want to use, but even during the match when the map changes based on what point you're trying to secure, or maybe counters from your enemy, you can change your weapon modifications in-game. Like, that's so sick to me.
Yeah, and also just it's a way to stand out too. If you can change the way that people see your tank and they see like your unique tank, they're like, all right, that's the guy I want to stay away from, or I really want to blow that guy up. But just building out a tank as like an anti-infantry, or you want to fight the other vehicles, being able to focus on your different strategies is really cool.
Yeah, Stone, I just love this idea of almost like this chess match between two teams of the different vehicles that they try to pull out. Because like Gundam was saying, some of these vehicles can be kitted out for anti-vehicle warfare and then some for anti-infantry. And you have to have this back and forth because there's a number of ways to destroy vehicles in the game.
Yeah, I see even people mentioning how do you balance this into the chat. And even from what I've seen with some of the vehicles in general, you kind of balance it just based off the cost of it. I think there's other elements even outside of just the power that is from it, of how easy to destroy it is, and obviously how many enemies you could actually take out with it at one time. But that's what I was saying though. Like, I like having the power on the field, and when you get into one of those things, and they're scared that, oh, this guy's got it, he's in another tank again, we got to take him out immediately. People start swapping classes to specifically shut down the tanks and control the battlefield a bit on it. It's like, you got to do what you got to do for it.
Yeah. Well, that's part of warfare, right? And so, Gundam, I'm actually going to ask you kind of the same question: is how do you counter vehicles? What are the options, especially if you're infantry and maybe don't have a vehicle at your disposal?
Oh yeah, as we know, beyond vehicle-to-vehicle combat, infantry virtual vehicle is another crucial aspect of the support. Infantry may be at a disadvantage in terms of protection, mobility when compared to vehicles, but they have access to numerous anti-vehicles countermeasures. In response, vehicle can deploy smoke to obscure enemy visions, equip thermal smoke to disrupt guide weapons, or utilize active protection systems to intercept incoming shells, missiles, and C4.
Yeah, missiles, C4, tons of different ways you can kind of blow up vehicles if you're infantry. This all checks out, and something that, Stone, I think you said it perfectly. You got to switch to it if you're not using it, right? When a vehicle starts becoming a terror, switch classes, get the engineer, make sure you have the right weapons, use C4. And once you do that, it's not all that difficult to take them out if you can coordinate it somewhat.
No, I tell you what, there's a couple times even when I swapped to it and I was like, all right, now it's my turn. I'm going to finally do this. The other team immediately took me out. They was just like, they were ready to go. And my team was just not as ready to go for the tanks coming in.
Talking about the infantry counterplay too, you have some of the points you can spend on the abilities, and one of them is like a giant bomb. And I've definitely taken out some tanks with those bombs before.
Yeah, calling your,
Yeah.
your
You get a guy
backup systems,
hard sitting on the capture point in a tank, and you just drop a bomb on it, and then it's yours.
I love it. Yeah, it's perfect. There's lots of different ways to counter it, but again, with warfare in particular, it's kind of like you got to have some sort of team coordination. If you have coordination, you're probably going to win. That's usually how it all works out. Well, I want to deep dive a little bit onto the vehicles because I saw some people in chat ask this before even we went live on the broadcast. They were in Twitch chat asking about the jets. Gundam, I'd love to hear about kind of that fixed wing aircraft. Any plans for that? Is there a release update for that in the open beta?
Oh yeah, the jet is an essential component of vehicle combat and the infantry vehicle engagement in gameplay, and they will be definitely to be added to our vehicle roster. Now we have already begun development on this, and we are exploring exciting new gameplay mechanic and feature on this. Rest assured that jet will make their debuts in Delta Force warfare mode in a very polished state. Additionally, more ground vehicles, naval vessels, and completely new arms are in active development and will be introduced in future versions.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I think, Landmark, some of the most iconic moments in some of these warfare game modes is some of the crazy vehicle plays. Having a jet and put it into the mix changes some things up, and you're going to see some crazy things, I'm sure.
I'm sure you will see people jumping out of jets and blowing up, enemies with rocket launchers and stuff like that. I'm more of a helicopter guy myself. I can never fly the jets. I'll crash that thing into the ground. But, I'll give it a shot.
I like jets. I like the sound of that a lot. That was something that I wasn't sure if was going to be in the game. But that is really cool to hear. That's gotten me into a number of games as well, just for that that feeling of flying jets. Even that's awesome.
Yeah,
when you get good at the jets, it feels fun.
Oh, it's so good because then you can take off. Because the choppers are, I feel like, the bigger threat usually on like the infantry, but the jets can shut down all the choppers super well. Yep. And you get a couple good strafing runs in. Like, yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, and you get some dogfights potentially going with jet versus jet combat.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
We're really cooking. Well, you are in charge of a lot. In part of what you do is also vehicle optimization and how you improved vehicle handling. So talk to me a little bit about vehicle handling for maybe people like me who aren't very good at it.
Oh yeah, we have received extensive player feedback regarding vehicle handling, including ground vehicle traversal in complex terrain, vehicle performance during movement, and weapon sound effects, and so on. These are high priority issues for us, and we will work to maintain realistic vehicle physics. Will feature improving travel in complex terrain and overall vehicle handling. We are pleased to analyze that many improvements have already been made in this area. We will be delivering an enhanced vehicle system with significant improvements in the next version.
Amazing. Well, a part of that, I want to go straight into the next topic because part of that I'm really excited about is not only the improved handling, but what about a vehicle training ground where I can just play around with the vehicle so that I can get better at it? Is that something you guys are intending on adding?
Oh, yeah. We know a lot of requests from players for a dedicated vehicle training ground to help them refine their driving skill and test weapon handling. So we are currently designing a new map to address this need. And it will be much more than just a vehicle training ground. We will be providing a more expansive outdoor space where players can enjoy various freestyle gameplay options.
All right, Stone, what you think? We got training grounds, we got improvements. I mean, talk about it. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the option to, especially for like any of the helicopters, or if you're going to spend a bunch of points in the game, or you're only on for a couple, maybe an hour or two, or whatever. If that, it's like you may get a couple choppers, couple vehicles throughout that day, and then you may not know how to use it or utilize it very well. It might get shut down really quickly. If you got some time to practice and actually know what you're doing going into it, I think that is that's really good to hear. And make some of the other people on your team hopefully a little bit more effective as well if they're running them.
Yeah, it's good because especially with the air vehicles, they're not always like super intuitive. Like everyone knows how to drive a car, but not everyone knows how to fly a helicopter. So getting a place where you can play around and get used to the mechanics without just stealing it from your team basically and then crashing it immediately and making everyone pissed off. It's good where that would help out just the flow of the games a lot better because people will get into these vehicles and already have a sense of what they're doing with it.
Yeah, the amount of times that I was like, oh, I know how to drive a helicopter. I hop in the middle of the game and I kind of just blank, and all of a sudden I'm going straight to the ground, upside down.
In a nose dive straight into a mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't even have your settings ready yet. It's like, you gotta figure it out.
Yeah, the settings actually is a key point. You really need to make sure you've got all that set up before you hop in the helicopter for the first time.
It's inverted.
Yeah, always is, always. We've got one more question here for Sean and Gundam. And chat, we're actually going to pull a couple questions from you all as well. So you've got questions on weapons in particular, something like that. Feel free to start typing them in chat. We'll pull those up here shortly. And that giveaway is right around the corner. But Gundam, one more question for you is about the future. What plans for the future with vehicles? What are weapons and vehicles, Sean and Gundam, going to look like? What are our updates going to look like going forward?
Yeah. Team Jade has developed a robust content production pipeline, as I see it, to ensure that weapons and firearms will receive frequent updates following the PC open beta launch. We'll maintain a steady update schedule of 2 to 3 main weapons and numerous attachments, one new vehicle, new map each season, while keeping a close watch on balance issues. We'll also be listening carefully to feedbacks from our community content creators and players to track and improve the gameplay experience across both modes.
Yeah, I love it. So not only do we have new weapons, a new vehicle going into actual launch of open beta, but then every new season we're looking at receiving 2 to 3 new weapons as well. I mean, huge boon for those of you out there that love playing around with different weapons. I mean, content creators in particular, you guys got a lot of content coming your way, Stone.
Oh yeah. I'm seeing a lot of Little Bird Pog in my chat right now, so
nice.
I think people are excited for that one.
Yeah, I'm excited about the Little Bird. I'm excited about new weapons as well. I'm really pumped about update cycles. I think the last couple broadcasts too we've done, they talked a lot about all the new content they're releasing, and those big season updates too are every 2 to 3 months as well. So every 2 to 3 months we're going to be seeing new weapons, new vehicles, things like that. I mean, huge boon, I'm sure, Stone, for anybody that loves new content.
Yeah, people are asking me about fall damage coming out of some of the jets and that new helicopter and everything. But
sure,
guys, let's ask about the weapons. Yeah, no, but how are you guys planning on even balancing the new weapons as they come out in terms of like making those the more powerful ones? Are those going to be more of the options? Like, do you try and obviously there's going to be at least a little bit quicker of leveling up for some of the weapons when you can spend your XP tokens onto them as well.
Yeah, that is a really good question. I'm actually going to jump in for Sean to answer that, because the first question we have from, which you didn't even know this stuff, the first question we have from the community is the exact same question. It is about meta. It is about balancing the weapons. So I want to lump these in together. We pulled some questions for the community, and this was a big one from Twitter. So Stone plus Twitter asking about balancing weapons and specifically meta questions. Sean, what can you tell us about that?
Oh, it's also what I care about most. We'll always keep an eye on current meta and dynamics between weapons and make adjustments swiftly according to in-game data and community's voice. Our idea here is to make every weapon unique and playable in different circumstances.
Yeah, so it sounds like essentially we want to not only balance the weapons, but also have a ton of options that don't feel like, I mean, frankly, we all know, like, you don't have to use the Scar to be the best player on the map, right? We want to have a lot of options going forward, which is a nice win. Excited about
Yeah,
that.
it sucks when you have, you know, a ton of guns in a game and you can only really use one or two. So to hear that, you know, you're paying attention to that and making sure that everything has its own role in the game, it's really, really good to hear.
Yeah, totally agree. Well, I'm going to open up to just, I know we've got to keep moving, but I'm going to open up to just a couple questions from the community here in our Delta Force Game official Twitch chat. I might pull a couple. And then Stone Landmark, if you guys see one in your chats in particular, feel free to hop in and ask that as well. I think a lot of folks are asking about monetization stuff. We're about to get into that as well. I think from our Twitch chat, the big question I'm seeing is mostly about the amount of weapons that are going to be in the game, which we talked a little bit about before. John, you had mentioned we've got you say 50 weapons going into open beta launch. Is that right?
Yeah, 50 already, and
Wow.
2 or 3 every season.
Yeah, talk about a lot of options, gentlemen.
It's going to be a lot of guns.
I love it.
Do you guys have like a necessary focus between warfare or like any of the specific modes? Like, how do you handle, because obviously with 50 weapons, then across the different modes on top of that,
Yeah.
like, do you have one that like, okay, this is like the main focus of what we're going to be trying to gear things towards?
Not exactly. We would like to maintain a balanced gameplay in both modes, and by using different strategy, for example, like in the operation extraction mode, we use the pricing strategy to ensure that this weapon can have a very short TTK, but it's very pricey and it's very risky for you to bring it in. And also for warfare, we have specifically extended our overall weapon TTK so that players have more time to react and focus on aiming and battle, stuff like that.
Very cool.
Gotcha.
I've got one more question from our Twitch chat. Landmark, if your community's got one, I'll allow one more after that, and then we'll have to keep moving. The next question I thought was really interesting. I think this is maybe a version of Tiger Shadas or something like that. But from our Twitch chat, this user asked, is there any sort of anti-vehicle sniper being planned for the game, like an M82 or something like that? Do you all have any plans for that, or do you need the community to ask for it a ton for it to be included?
Well, it wasn't in my plan. Not until I see this recent question. I'll take that in mind. I'll take that in mind, definitely.
I love it. Well, I think the classic answer too, we always talk about it in these broadcasts, is if chat or the community really wants something, go to Discord, go to Reddit, go to all the socials and tag them and at the team. The team is always watching the socials. You can always try to ask for stuff, ask for updates on things. They are constantly looking at it. So if everybody wants an anti-vehicle sniper, great. And if only just this one person wants it, it probably won't get added. So anything, Landmark, from your community before we send our devs on?
Yeah, I'm just curious. How do you guys go about picking the next guns you're adding? Right, you're gonna be picking 3 new guns every season. Like, are you just picking out your personal favorite guns, or is there some strategy to how you're selecting what gets added?
Well, as you can see, we have some preset tiers for these weapons. For example, like M7 is the newest version of what military is using, and it's very expensive in the extraction mode. And also, we have some cheaper options such as Car 15. And we want players of all different playstyles to have guns to play. So whenever we see there's an empty spot in that hole, that add something into it. Like also, we will also to also try to bring up some more dynamics, like some new gameplays. For example, in the future, maybe we'll have some underwater raffle.
Wow. Talk about a leak, an underwater rifle.
Underwater, yeah.
Oh, shoot. Okay, I like it. Amazing. Well, Sean, Gundam, you both were fantastic. Thanks for breaking down vehicles, weapons, and what we can expect going into the open beta. We've talked about a lot today, and we're going to be moving into our new category, monetization, here shortly with some different developers. So thank you so much for being here. Any final words before we send you out and bring in the new devs?
Just always tell us what you want, and we are always here to hear.
Amazing. That is the perfect send-off. Always tell the team what you all want. The community, they're always listening. Thank you so much, Sean and Gundam, and I'm sure we'll see you in the future.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Hey, a great convo, gentlemen. How we feel about the first section of our broadcast here?
Yeah,
Feel
sounds good.
I
Has some
want to
cool
go
stuff coming.
underwater now. I want to go scuba diving.
Yes. Somebody in chat said maybe a spear fishing gun or something like a harpoon. I don't know what's going to be added.
There are a few things. I don't know too much about them, but there are some guns that come to mind that were made to shoot underwater. They shoot like harpoon type things.
Okay. I like it. Well, okay, before we bring in our second group of developers here, gentlemen, I'm gonna send you guys for like a very short break. I need a minute to myself on broadcast because it's time for me to be a man of the people. It's time for some giveaways, folks. I told you they were coming. It is time for our very first giveaway. This is for Amazon gift cards. If you're listening all over we're live on a ton of different socials. We are picking winners from Delta Force Game official Twitch channel. That's where we're hanging out over here. So what I need you to do is go into chat. All you have to do is be an active chatter. So the easiest way to do this, let's type some W's in the chat for Sean and Gundam, talking about vehicles, talking about weapons. Shout out to the devs. All you have to do, type W in chat or say hey, frankly. You just got to be an active chatter. We're going to basically have this timer going for about 3 minutes, and then we will announce the winner in chat. You'll get added by the official account, and I'll say your names on broadcast. And then all you have to do to get your gift cards and secure your win there is just whisper the official Twitch account for Delta Force Game Official. They will at you first. You can just click on that name and hit the whisper button on Twitch. We're only pulling winners from Twitch though, so make sure you pop over here really quick, type in chat, and keep watching the broadcast. Okay, so we're gonna get our new devs in here and talk to them, and then I will interrupt them with the winners here in a little bit. And we've got a couple more of these down the line. This is not the only one. If you don't win, don't worry, you're not gonna miss anything because we got more giveaways in the future. All right, let's bring everybody back in. We've got our brand new developers. We've got Iris and we've got Gibby. Really excited to have both of you. Thanks for being here. How are you guys feeling?
Great. Yeah.
Excited to talk.
Yeah,
we've got your
okay?
mics. Yeah, we've got your mics. You're good to go.
Oh, yeah, sure. So great today.
Good. We are really excited to talk monetization and all things economy in this game. I know Landmark Stone also big fans of the economy in game. This is a big part of what we do, especially in the operations game mode. So I want to go ahead and get started while our giveaway is going on with Mandelbricks. This is the most unique thing in terms of economy about Delta Force in comparison to other games. Talk to me about Mandelbricks. If maybe some people at home haven't really learned about them, what can people expect with Mandelbricks for the open beta?
Yeah, so we'll start it with Mandelbrick. And Mandelbrick can be obtained by extracting them from operation matches. And also, you can also obtain the Mandelbricks by doing exceptional performance in warfare mode. And as the video you can see, so both our Mandelbricks and the appearances obtained from them can be traded between players. And you can sell that for Delta tickets. And that Delta tickets can be used to purchase various appearances from the store. So the appearances can also be reconstructed. And with the reconstruction, you can combine several same grade appearances and to get a higher grade appearance.
Wow.
So you can see it's our appearances here. And we will release new Mandelbricks every season. And so the previous Mando bricks won't be removed, but it will have a lower drop rate. So it maybe be harder to get the Mando brick.
Very cool. I know both of you, Landmark and Stone, you both have experience probably getting Mantle bricks in operations. Let's start with you, Landmark. Talk to me about that experience, and then also what Iris was just talking about of there's kind of a new functionality with the Mantle bricks and Delta tickets and trading those, and also season-specific Mantle brick rewards, which is super cool.
Yeah, the Mantle bricks are super cool in this game. They give you a dynamic way to play the maps where there's this item that spawns in that everyone wants to try and get and fight over, and you have to bring it to different locations, and it makes people move around the map and it keeps you very engaged. And you know, it adds to that element of not knowing what to expect in the extraction mode. And on top of it, I like skins, so being able to unlock skins, and I mean the ones they just showed off were cool. Seeing the internals of the guns moving and functioning as they should when you're shooting the gun I love that.
Yeah, I've always wanted to have like that experience where that's how, first of all, that's how you get skins. But I think you also mentioned that you can pull out a currency from that as well, and then use that to unlock things, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so it's like that. You can sell the Mando brick, and also the Mando brick you get from, and also the skins you get from Mando brick, and you can sell it to other players. And then you can get the data tickets. The data tickets can buy our other skins in our store.
Interesting. Yeah, see, that's what I've always wanted, because then there's more of like an incentive to go after, even if you know, it's not even necessarily a random chance to get it. I've kind of always wanted that, because there's always, you know, you get the weapon, you get the item, you get kitted up, you get your own inventory, and I love that as well. But if you can then get something that's worth a little bit more off of that for the game, then there really is kind of an incentive to push and get those bricks out.
This is one of my favorite ads, frankly, because I think for true grinders like you two, especially on content, there's always going to be incentive to work for Mantle bricks now, because you can use those to get other skins in the game as well besides just the rewards. Love that idea. Super, super cool. I mean, Landmark, any other thoughts on that?
No, that sounds great. I mean, especially if you know you're unlocking something, you're like, oh, I don't really want that one, and you can trade it and get something else. Sounds great to me.
I love it. Well, before we move on, we do have our first giveaway winners. I want to say your names. Also, our account is going to @ you one more time. This also means all of you W spammers out there, you can finally stop spamming your Ws and just hang out with us in chat. I will tell you when to start typing again in terms of interacting with a new giveaway down the line. Our 3 winners, Hey Nupa, Dumontu, and Banky Boy 60. Congratulations, you've won Amazon gift cards. Make sure to whisper the official account. Those are our 3 winners for this one. We'll get back into our conversation. Congrats, though, and more giveaways into the future near the end of this broadcast. Back to Iris and Gibby. It is time to talk economy in general. Talk to me about the Delta Force economy. We've talked a little bit about Mantle bricks, but how does this economy all work for maybe somebody that's new, and what to kind of understand about it?
Yeah, so here's the picture for you. We can get a picture. And actually, we'll start it with some actually basic appearances. So we've prepared numerous appearances that can be earned as rewards through active participation. That's called. And firstly, we have free appearances of all firearms that can be unlocked by completing missions. And this series of missions will remain available forever. So next is our free prize pool, tactical armament, and it's actually just the purple line. So this series of missions in this pool, the players can earn draw tickets through event missions and also the exchange store. So actually, finally, there are the Mantle bricks, and we just mentioned it. So it's the game's most essential items and also a crucial source of obtaining top-tier appearances. And actually, here's some examples of the skins you can get in our games.
Yeah, this is awesome to look at these skins. I would love to go back as well to that first image if we can. I'm putting production on the spot because I love this breakdown of the different ways you could get different rewards. So Iris, can you give me one more brief description here of the difference between kind of the tactical armament and then the skins you can get from Mandel bricks and how to use the Delta tickets. Can you explain that one more time?
Yeah, sure. So the skins you can get from the armament is actually more essential. And so the skins you get from Mandel brick, it will have more functions. Since the Mandel bricks is clearly harder to get. And so that's the main difference between these two kinds of skins. And so the Delta tickets, as I've just said, you can get it by selling the Mandel bricks and also the skins you get from Mandel bricks. And with the Delta tickets, you can get various kind of maybe top tier or higher tier of skins in our store.
Yeah, wow. Okay, I love this graph. This is like opening up my brain to how this all works. Landmark, I'd love for you to talk about. This is what we we're just talking about with Delta tickets, right? So if you maybe get a skin from that Mandel brick that you're either not going to use or something like that, and then sell them in order to use it to get something else in game that you actually want. So a very cool breakdown.
Yeah, and it looks like this is all done just through the gameplay and getting players to interact with the Mandelbrick events and going after the challenges in the game and just to keep coming back and playing and grinding. And I think that's going to be like really good for the gameplay and just giving people an incentive to go in matches, fight each other, duke it out, and try to survive.
And it seemed like there was a couple different tiers, like the purple line on the top and then the orange tier and the red at the bottom. So are those different? Like, how do you get a voucher versus getting, the mantle brick is separate and then there was a key as well. Like, how does the key interact with that?
Yeah, so actually the key, and we call it the quantum keys. The quantum keys is used for opening the Mandel bricks, and you guys can experience it in our open beta this time. Since last time our test, the Mandel brick doesn't need any things to open. But actually, since this time, we've put in some more, maybe some greater appearance in the Mandel bricks. So we just maybe just put a little key on it. And the key, you can get it by store and also by Delta tickets. So actually, when you get a Mandel brick out of the game and you can sell it and to get Delta tickets, and next time you can just use the Delta ticket. You can just use the key that you just bought to open the Mandel bricks.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot going on. So essentially, you could get a Mandel brick and not have a key to open it, but you could sell the Mandel brick to get tickets. Wow. Or if you did have a key, you could just open it and keep moving on and get the rewards from it. So there's kind of a lot of different ways to interact with the Mandel bricks, pending you getting keys. My question, I think the follow-up there is the easiest ways, or do you get a certain amount of keys each week, or how do the keys exactly work? You said you could buy them. Is that via Technic Alloy, or is that via just the Delta tickets?
So it's via Delta tickets and also Delta coins, but you just can't buy that through. So you can buy it through Alloy. Since the Mandel bricks, you can get it from both modes of our games. So if you can buy it through Alloy, I think it's kind of not that
reasonable.
Yeah. Not that good for the other mode of the other mode players.
Yeah, we have to leverage the experience of both mode players. So it's not reasonable to sell it via Technic Alloys. That's it.
Yeah, gotcha. Because you need keys for the Mandel bricks, but the Mandel bricks you can also earn through Warfare. So if you could use Technic Alloy, which is just in operations, that wouldn't make sense. Okay, cool. Stone, what you think?
Yeah, no, that sounds interesting. And a lot of people are even asking then, and maybe you have this information now, but with anything that's earned or got during the beta, is that something that's going to wipe going into a future release, or if you do wipes in general for it?
Yeah, so can we answer this question now?
I think we'll keep it as a secret for now. Is that okay?
It's still under discussion.
Go ahead and play our game.
Yeah.
Great. We'll learn more about wipes potentially either next week or soon. We'll keep that a secret for now, and stay tuned and keep asking questions in Discord as well. Amazing. Well, this is super interesting. I had mentioned Technic Alloy. You had mentioned it before. Let's talk a little bit more specifically about what Technic Alloy is. This is kind of the main currency that Landmark, Stone, and I know from operations. So let's take a look at that and tell me a little bit about Technic Alloy, Iris, and Gibby.
Yeah, so actually I've just talked about the technic alloy, and let's give a more closer look into it. So it's, as we've just said, it's the operations mode currency, and it can be earned by selling various supplies for those who haven't played the game before. Actually, in the live version of our games, we will allow players to exchange technic alloy for armament vouchers, so you can obtain epic appearances more easily. And for the mana break, technic alloy can also be used to purchase premier combat supplies so that you can get the mana breaks easier. And also, as I've just said, you can exchange the quantum key, which can open the mana break by technic alloy. So actually, you can just get all kinds of skins in our games without using any true money. And also, for those who play the warfare mode, you don't have to worry, because in warfare mode, we've also prepared all kinds of like virtuals, the keys and the mana bricks to obtain. You can just obtain them by just completing some warfare missions.
Got it. Okay. So a lot of different ways to earn a lot of different things, but specifically, I mean, we three know this currency a ton because this is like the main currency that you use in operations, right? So you can not only use it for basically spending all your money on an AWM, or you could use it for cosmetic stuff, which is interesting. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that there's, usually in games like this, I kind of farm up as much cash as I can, and you kind of get a giant pool going, and you need that for resources to go into games. Obviously, it depends how it's balanced with it, but having a way to then spend the extra alloy that you have on cosmetics and having that as a main part of the currency, gives you more incentive to actually pull that out. And when you get a haul off of a good, juiced up gun or player, I mean, it becomes more worth it.
Yeah, it gives you a reason to keep playing too, beyond like when you get rich and you have all the gear that you want, right? It gives you a reason to keep going in and grinding and I'm going to spend my extra money instead of just stockpiling it all. I'm going to put it to use.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the Twitch chat, Maple City, man. I don't know if you're lying or not. He said he was on 30 mil last playtest. So yeah, you could actually spend some of that this time around on cosmetics, which is great. Amazing. Well, let's talk a little bit. A lot of people have been asking about how do I actually spend money on this game in general? Paid cosmetics, is that going to be a thing? These really high quality weapon appearances. Talk to me about what you can tell us about with that.
Okay, so we'll basically launch our new high-quality resources every week. In Delta Force, the weapon appearance they will be launched in bundles, and they can be directly purchased with Delta tickets, which is really good because you can earn the Delta tickets, as Iris just mentioned. You can earn it by the market change. You can just get it from the malls and sell it in the market. Additionally, if you purchase a bundle, if you want to buy some weapon appearance, you can either choose to purchase it directly from the bundle. Means you can purchase a weapon separately, or you can purchase the whole bundle. So it's very flexible. You can choose to buy it individually or the complete bundle as well. And
nice.
Also, we've already covered the mana breaks and the collection market, just as Iris just mentioned, so I'll just escape it. But I want to show you some really amazing features of our weapons, such as the gold collector's weapon appearance that comes with unique serial numbers, and also our different plays, the tracer effects, the hate markers, the muzzle flashers, and we also have some special inspect animations. I think you guys are gonna enjoy it, and you're gonna really look forward to it.
Yeah, this is very, very cool. Stone, I mean, we're gonna look through a lot of these cosmetics for a little while, but if you just heard what Gibby was saying, I mean, there's also down the line some different flashes that could come with guns, like a lot of different ways to customize your weapon outside of just skins. On top of the fact that you can get the specific weapon skin you want out of a bundle rather than just having to buy the complete bundle. So there's a lot going on in the cosmetic section here.
Yeah, I think that I prefer that in games is if you can just buy directly, you kind of know the amount, you can just buy whatever item you want. Usually it's a pack, but the fact that you can kind of individually just buy the item you want out of it, I actually like that even more personally. And the fact that there's, I think she just said inspects that are custom as well as custom tracers.
Yeah,
I mean, that's always very fun. I love to, especially when you're like loading in at the very beginning of the match, do a sick inspect, or you're waiting for somebody to push, or maybe make a play a little bit more interesting, do a cool inspect, and then go in for it. I like
flex
that.
on them right after you take somebody down.
Exactly. You gotta flex it.
Yeah, it's so true. I really love, I think weapon inspects are so cool, especially like in content and things like that. But I love that we're getting a chance to just look through some of these because super unique. And then also, like you mentioned, tracers are just a very cool value add. Like I love the idea of being able to customize weapons outside of just the skin you put on them. So I'm loving everything I'm seeing right now. And the fact that a lot of these, if not, I think everything at this point is what Gibby was saying, is also available to earn in game with those Delta tickets that you can earn rather than having to pay for everything. So a lot of different ways to get weapon skins, like we've already talked about.
Yeah, even the skins and the customization here. Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen too many of them so far in the game. I had a couple just like custom colors. These are insane.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it too with the customization in the game. It looks like the skins are getting applied to all the different attachments that you're adding to your gun too. So it's not just like a base skin, and then if I put a bunch of attachments or change the scope, there's no skin on it. Like the whole gun and all the pieces look like they're skinned, which is that's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's awesome, but that's good detail to have. That's something.
That's like,
really, especially for how many attachments there are.
Yeah, you see, like the grip right here it's got that red skin on it. Sight has it as well, so it looks like they went in and they put in the time to skin all the attachments as well.
Yeah, especially for some of the flashier ones. If every attachment is covered, which I mean, that's sick.
Yeah,
because there's so many ways to customize it.
Yeah, there was a lot there. I mean, I'll ask the question. I mean, Gibby, how hard is it to do that amount of detail, customizing like individual attachments like that? It feels like a lot of work.
Yeah, definitely. We are a huge group, There are a lot of game designers, and we really put a lot of effort in to design the weapons, and we really enjoy it. Our assist.
yeah, we've made it together, and also a lot of our other colleagues.
Well, shout out to the team. Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out to the team because I haven't seen something like that, especially at that level of detail, in a very long time. So it's very cool to see. Shout out to all the hard work you guys are doing behind the scenes. There's more, though, we can talk about with cosmetics, and especially in the paid category as well. Gibby, talk to me a little bit about Battle Pass. I know this is kind of a hot topic, a question or comment. What can we expect with that?
Okay, here comes the question of the Battle Pass. I know you guys, you're probably eager to learn more details about the Battle Pass. So there's a very unique feature of our Battle Pass is that it can be divided into two versions. Because we know that a lot of players, they only play the warfare mode, and some of them only play the operations mode. So our Battle Pass offers customized versions for both warfare and operation players. So you can choose to purchase them separately. So if you are a operations exclusive player, you can just purchase this version to get some of the operation resources, for example, the safes and consumable supplies. And if you're a warfare player, you can just purchase the warfare version for more vehicle skins, experience boosters, and other resources. And yeah, definitely, if you enjoy dipping into the both modes, you can purchase the dual mode, which means you won't miss anything. You will get all Battle Pass rewards. That's it.
Yeah. Customization, in-game customization, and battle passes. Stone, what are we feeling about that? I love that idea. If you are a single mode player, you've got your pick of the litter in terms of what type of battle pass you want.
Yeah, that's I've never even I don't think I've ever seen that or heard of it before. So that is nice. And there's a lot of people that I've seen in my comments at least that are only interested in one of the modes, whether that's operations or what So that I mean that's a very nice touch to have, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Landmark, that also helps keep costs down too, right? Like in terms of affordability, if you've got people in your chat that only play operations, the extraction, because that's what you do, like they don't have to worry about the weapon skins that they will never use, and they won't get rewards that they don't care about.
Yeah, you don't have to spend money on stuff you don't want or don't need. So I'm cool with that.
I love it. I love it. Well, this is all great news thus far. Lots going on. Let's talk. There's one more big section here, and then we've got some question and answer. I want to see chat start flying with questions. This is a really fun one because with the open beta comes a lot of excitement. Talk to me a little bit, if you can, about open beta specific rewards and what we can expect when the open beta launches.
Okay. So we will definitely launch numerous free resources and rewards during the open beta. So as the picture shows, the players can earn the Blackhawk appearance and new operators just by logging into the game. So it's pretty easy, right? And they can also collect various epic weapon appearance by playing the operations mode. And also they can unlock the vehicle skins and the weapon appearance by completing milestone missions. You guys are pretty much familiar about the milestone missions. And well, if you're trying to play the new maps and the new scenarios, we also provide even more surprises. But I will keep it as a secret. And also, we will have more surprise if you log in during weekends and weekdays. We will provide separate and different rewards for different players. We are really look forward for you guys to come into our game and try the open beta version. So I'll keep most of the rewards and free stuff as a secret, to attract you guys in. That's it.
Amazing. So we got things you can earn in game. We got battle passes, and we got free rewards just for playing the game. Some of which are secrets. We've got a lot going on for the people at home. Landmark, how you feeling about some free rewards when the open beta launches?
I know people love free, but it's also just giving players a way to earn stuff just by playing the game is always good. If you want to shortcut it, you can. But if you want to sit there and grind it out and go through all the stuff, that's there for you too.
Yeah, same question for you, Stone. Are you excited to just hop into the game and start earning all your rewards? I mean, I know you're a grinder, man, and you've got a lot of experience on a lot of different titles, but it's exciting that you can earn a bunch of free things early with the open beta.
Yeah, no, I always like having that. It's always like a little extra flex whenever you go in or see that skin. I saw it, even a couple of them said beta on it as well, so that's kind of it's always fun.
Yeah, being like a day one player and having the day one skins is awesome. Incredible. Well, Iris Gibby, you've been fantastic. We've got a series of questions for you that I'm excited to get into. Before we jump into them, I have to reward the people at home, okay? I just have to. They've been waiting for it. We're excited to do some more giveaways for you. So we've got our second giveaway of the day. We've got one more after this. Here's our giveaway, giving away the Razer Black Widow V4. 3 winners. Instead of W's this time, how about we type some hearts in the chat for our devs team? They've given us so much intel, so much behind the scenes look. Type some W's. Don't spam the W's because I think maybe the Autobot might time you out because it's a symbol, but even still, they need some hearts and W's. You just got to be an active chatter. You can type whatever you want. This is all in the official Twitch channel. Delta Force Game Official is our Twitch channel that we're live on. We'll pull the winners there, and we'll announce those winners here in a little bit. So get those typing in, do whatever you need to do just to be an active chatter, and then we'll reward 3 of you for being just active in our channel. So while we wait on drawing those winners, let's ask some questions. We're looking for questions from Landmark and Stone Mountain's Twitch channels, and also our Twitch channel here. We've got a couple pre-picked questions from the socials, so I wanted to go ahead and roll into those. First one today, we got 4 of these. This is from Twitter and Discord. So if you're not on Twitter, you're not in the official Discord, join them. The first question, though, this is a big one. We talked about this last week, but it's such a big question. We're bringing it back up. Will the crafting in black sites be much quicker in the open beta? What will crafting look like in operations?
Yeah, so I'll take this one. And sure, and thanks to everyone, we've got a lot of advice since our last test. And that's one of the most frequently mentioned one. And of course, the answer is yes. We will surely optimize the crafting process in this patch. And we hope you guys can all get in our games and experience it.
Another great example of listening to the community, gentlemen. This is an easy one, a free win, if you will, for the dev team, because those crafting times have been reduced, Landmark.
Yeah, it's good to hear that, especially someone who sits on the games a lot and plays. I'll sit there and sink 10 hours into a game in one go. When you're playing that much and the crafting times are super long, you kind of don't get them, as frequently as if you just were to log in the next day after, a 2-hour session. So it's nice to be able to keep that going and getting the rewards of the crafts.
Yeah, Stone, did you do some crafting in your original playtest? Did you test out some of it?
I didn't do too much of the crafting. I got a couple of the mana bricks out, but that was the extent of what I got to.
Yeah, that black site crafting is very cool. You can build a bunch of high tier value loot too, which is my favorite part about it. But it was taking 3 to 4 days for that crafting to be done. So with that time reduced, we should see a lot of that.
I didn't customize all the black site and get to try all that. I was kind of waiting to have it get a little bit further before I did it.
Yeah. I think you're going to love
You just take
crafting.
it from the people that craft it, all right? Let them craft it all and you shoot them and take it.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Amazing. Well, I love that update. That was a free win there for the dev team. Speaking of free wins, we've got our 3 winners. I'm going to announce them real quick, and then we'll keep moving with our questions. Our 3 winners, Zora the Dragon, John Wolf, and Grizzly025. You're our 3 winners of our keyboards, by the way. So congratulations. You just got added in our Twitch chat. Click that Delta Force Game official Twitch account and whisper them in order for you to get your rewards. And also, it's time to stop spamming your symbols, okay? Still type in chat, and specifically, I want to see your questions because we're going to have a live Q&A here at the end of this broadcast here in just a little bit. So start asking your questions and stop your heart spam, albeit an occasional heart's probably nice for the team here. So let's move to the next question, ladies and gentlemen. And this one is probably the most asked question, maybe even more than crafting, frankly, is will there be a way to pay for in-game currency? The caveat here is we want to grind, not pay to win. What can you tell me about pay to win and kind of its place in Delta Force, if at all?
Yeah, actually, it's one of our most solid promise, actually. So there will be no pay to win in Delta Force. And we promise that all our skins will be pure cosmetics and there will be no any buff or any other things. And you can also not buy the Technic alloy, the supplies, or other weapons in the extraction mode by using real money. And so that we think that's our promise, and we'll keep it. No pay to win. Yeah.
Every broadcast we have done, this is the 3rd time in a row, and it's every single time we emphasize it, no pay to win in the game. And also having those constant dynamic balance adjustments we can have on weapons of you're not getting pay to win weapons because we want to make sure everything's balanced. Such a big win here. I'll toss it to both of you guys, Landmark and Stone. I'll start with you, Stone. Pay to win is a huge conversation in games these days. And I'm telling you, every broadcast we've done, the dev team says, I promise, no pay to win. It's got to feel good.
Yeah, no, that's really good to hear. It is a major touch point that pretty much, is just rampant across the whole industry for things. And especially for an extraction shooter too, where even if you can't buy a specific gun to go in with, if you could buy the alloy to go then buy the gun, there's other ways that people will come up with to find a pay to win method. So that for them to have for you to have a different avenue rather than doing that is, it's really good to hear. And just keeping it purely cosmetic, you could just bias the specific pack even or the individual item that you even want for cosmetic for it. I think that's a good way to do it. Especially for a free to play game. Like that's awesome because it gives the free to play player access to just play the game and not have to spend if they don't want to.
Yeah, Landmark, same thing to you, man. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I think I was just the free to play aspect, taking a hard stance on no pay to win in a free to play game is huge. And it's just gonna really, you cut down on that barrier to entry for people to get into the game, especially an extraction shooter that a lot of people may not have played them and they're a little hesitant to try them out. So just giving them a way to play it for free and then committing to not requiring you to spend money to keep going, I think it's a great stance for them to make.
Totally agree. And I'm sure you will hear us say it again when we get to the other broadcasts down the line. They're going to emphasize it every single time they can because it's so important.
But they should. Yeah, they really should.
Exactly. Let's go to the next question. This is also a fun one because we've talked a lot about cosmetics, but let's talk about cosmetics maybe as a whole, including operators and things like that. The big one here is, what are the cosmetics going to look like maybe for players, operators, if that's a thing? And specifically, I think this person in particular said, we don't want childlike or weird, crazy brand skins. What's kind of the Delta Force motto when it comes to cosmetics?
Yeah, actually, just in Gibby's video, if you can saw some of the skins in our games. And actually, since we've just mentioned, there are no pay to win in our games. All of our customizations will be basically based on our skins. So we are really putting a true heart in making those skins. And many of our teams are a big fan of true military. So we will enhance the military skin scene. And we promise that all our weapons are designed under the modern military frames, and there will be no childhood likes or any other weird
creepy stuff.
Yeah, sure.
No creepy stuff. Sto, what do you think? It's more kind of leaning in heavier to the military sim style of cosmetics.
Yeah, that's sick. I always like something that's got a ghillie, camouflage and everything on it, even if that's a little over the top with some of the leaves and coverage on it. That's my favorite stuff to use. Some of the over the top, especially if it's a cool inspect, I don't mind some of that personally. But yeah, that's a cool line to take and, good approach. I think in general, I think most people would probably prefer and do enjoy that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think most people they want to see cool skins, but they want to see them, grounded in reality. Is the main thing, right? You want to feel like you're actually shooting a gun still, and you're actually fighting another human being, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, not I think some of our notes here, not celebrity skins and stuff like that. It's we're still sticking to this military sim style while offering really unique cosmetics, which I can definitely appreciate and definitely feels true to the long lineage of Delta Force history too.
Sure.
Cool. Okay. I think we've got one more question here that we're going to take a look at, and then we're going to open it up for our Twitch Q&A. Let's roll this next question. We talked a little bit about this, specifically around, a little hint, if you weren't paying attention before, the differences in the battle pass. What will the cost of cosmetics be? The battle pass be? This person can't stand overpriced cosmetics, and kind of asterisk to that is that they won't use maybe. So talk to me a little bit about what we could expect cost-wise from some of these cosmetics.
Okay, I think it's a hard one, but since I've kept so many secrets in this speech, so I wanna just tell you guys about the price. The price of the battle pass is gonna be lower than $10, so I think it's a very competitive price. And it's since in our battle pass we really provide a lot of amazing weapons and resources, saves, and everything. You can get everything in the battle pass. So I'll have to say it's very price worthy and it's very competitive if you compare to other games in the market. So it's really worth trying. That's it.
Yeah. That's a win. Yeah. Big fan. What do you guys think, Landmark?
That was unexpected. I think that's very competitive. That sounds, that's a good price point to be in.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, if you want to get if you don't necessarily want to buy a specific bundle, but you're going to play the game a lot, to just be able to buy something and then get a bunch of skins along the way is always, I think that's one of the reasons battle passes are so popular as they are.
Yeah, it rewards the player grind while also, luckily, especially here with Delta Force, being quite inexpensive comparatively. So huge value when you do utilize the battle pass. Well, amazing. Thank you for answering the questions thus far. Again, folks, if you ever have questions, we're gonna pick up a couple here in all the Twitch channels and really open the door for about 5 minutes or so. And we've got one more giveaway as well, so don't go anywhere for that. But also, if you ever have questions, Discord, a fantastic place to go to. It's a massive Discord. We've got a lot of folks in there, like-minded people that all love the game. So let's go ahead and take a look at these social medias. This QR code here actually will take you to the Discord. Fun fact I learned very recently, if you're on mobile right now, you just screenshot it. You can actually just click the QR code in the screenshot and it'll actually pull it up as well. So that's an easier way to pull it up. But all over the place. They have every single social media you can think of. We got Reddit, Discord, YouTube. We're live on YouTube. I think we're live on TikTok, Facebook. We are everywhere. And of course, the official Twitch channel. Make sure you drop follows everywhere and ask your questions on those social medias. You've heard it from our developers every broadcast. They love tuning into the socials and answering all your questions. And specifically, if you want something in the game, if enough people want it, you just vocalizing that is how you have a chance to get that to happen and make it in game. So excited about that. Let's open up some Q&As here, folks. Stone, Landmark, if you guys have any, definitely jump in here. I will start things off from one from our official Twitch channel. And this one I thought was a pretty good question, specifically around this kind of free to earn conversation. This is from LunaKill90 in our Twitch chat. Can we freely earn the safe box container rather than buying it through or earning it through the battle pass? Is it something you can earn in game without having to buy the battle pass, or are the safes locked behind the battle pass? Can you all answer that?
Oh, yeah, sure. So we can answer that just here. So actually, we have different sides of the case in our games, and we promise that most of it you can get it by just free playing and not need to pay any money for it. And we guarantee that your experience, your in-game experience, will never be distracted by battle pass or other pay point.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the classic question, right? Is like, can all of these things be earned? Especially in operations, the safe box is like one of the most crucial aspects to the game and balancing that. So the fact that it's free to earn and you can get it via the battle pass, a huge win for sure.
One question I had was, if you take somebody down and they've got like one of these crazy skins and you pick that weapon up, do you keep that skin on it, or like is there going to be a way where you can keep that skin and have this like legendary weapon in your stash and bring with?
Yeah, so I'll answer this. Actually, the answer is no. So if you take someone down and you just can't get his skins, since that actually most of the skins in our games we design it really with a lot of times, and we also hope that people can get the skins you can just get the skins by actually doing some active participation, or actually, like we've just said, like Mando Break, you can sell it and buy it, and you can always get a way to obtain the skins. And we don't encourage this kind of behavior in game. So in this patch we haven't opened it.
Yeah, it really, I mean, if you like really put a lot of money, like you purchase a legendary weapon, let's say, and if somebody takes you down and they easily get it, it pretty hurts. So we want to like just leverage players' experience. So we won't do that.
Sure.
Got it. Yeah, so essentially it's like you are in this game, you get to keep it. If you take somebody down that has it, you get to look at it.
It'll automatically apply your skin onto the weapon, which that's still cool too if you have a great one.
Yeah, definitely. Landmark, any questions from you or your Twitch chat here? I've got a couple more from our live channel before we close things out.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask about beyond just the weapon skins. Are there plans for some other unique ways to kind of customize the look of your loadout?
Yeah, sure. Of course, there are. So, should we keep it a secret or? Yeah.
I
So,
think we can split a bit, like since we have a huge, strong the mental break stuff, and we also have a marketplace. Once you get the weapons, you have your way to customize and like to probably change it or like trade it to other people, and you have your unique way to customize your weapon for sure. But like the technique, the mechanism is like pretty hard to explain. So we encourage you guys to like join our open beta and probably just experience by yourself, and you will get a clear idea of it. Right?
yeah, and a quick spoiler, you can also have a chance to customize your own character, and you can just experience it in our open beta.
Okay.
Very cool. Very
Big
cool.
news. Yeah, that is a spoiler. That's great. That actually was the next question. Let's go ahead and roll that next question from our live Twitch chat. This is from Devastator. Oh, that's definitely what that is. I know how to read gamer tags. Will the armor or your operator in the operations mode be available at some point as a cosmetic? Can you change that? And so that's a nice, cool spoiler for the open beta, is that our cosmetics actually could, maybe we can customize our operators that we're choosing, or the armor potentially. That's awesome. Yeah, Landmark Stone, what are we thinking about that? And then also, I want to give you two room. Any other questions you have before we close things out? I think your Twitch chats are teeming with things, so I'll kind of give both of you the floor. Maybe Stone first.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they're asking about a number of different things. One thing, when you talk about spending money or wanting to spend money in games, you want to have it so it's also a secure game. I don't know if you have any additional details or anything about like the anti-cheat that you guys are working on for that, or keeping the game healthy to keep it a good economy and wanting to continue to play.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the several things that we put really attention in. And since most of our team members are really big fan of FPS, and we are all troubled by the cheats and things like that. So actually, we've developed a really strong anti-cheat team, and we hope that we can make the environment in our games clear, and all our players can enjoy their game. So you can try it, I think. Yeah, we are doing our best.
And we will keep contribute to this, because like we know the environment is the most important part of our game. So like we evaluate a lot. You can trust us.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I love that.
Awesome.
Landmark, any other questions from you or your chat before we
That's
wrap?
what I was going to bring up. The
Yeah.
anti-cheat. That's always the pay to win, and the anti-cheat is always the hot topic that everyone wants to know about. And I don't want to beat a dead horse at this point.
Yeah. And it's something we talked about too last week. I mean, the anti-cheat, every time we bring it up, it's like anti-cheat, pay to win, not only the most important points of the community, but also the most important parts from the devs. Because I think the term that was used last time was essentially those two, or those two topics are kind of sink or swim for a lot of games. And even the devs said that, of like, we know this is crucial, which is key, I think, from a communication standpoint. So excited to see that in action. Stone, any other questions from your chat before we close things out?
Someone were asking about like how you're going to match players together, and skill-based matchmaking, and how you're going to deal with, obviously there's like the rank system on it as well that you guys have, and that doesn't necessarily affect who you go into with and everything. If you had any more details or anything on that.
Yeah, actually, in our next open beta, we've developed the rank system in our games, and we've surely improved it, so that we are trying our best to make sure that the players can match the opponents with similar skills. So it won't make the game too boring or too hard. So we'll keep moving on it, and maybe in next week we can give some more details about this.
Heck yeah.
Cool. I would say that, and then also obviously I brought it up earlier too, but information on some of the wipes and how resets will happen in the future, if any, or part of the beta and those things. I know that's another question that's coming up. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a question. Maybe you can keep it later, and it's still under some kind of discussion. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Beautiful. More info later on wipes. A ton of promises around node pay to win, anti-cheat, all that good stuff. We had a chance to talk about weapons, cosmetics, monetization, economy. Gents, we talked about everything. I love it. Before I send everybody away, Iris, Gibby, I want to go to you two in particular first. Any kind of final words for the broadcast here? Anything you want to share with us? Anything you wanted to say before we let you go? This has been a fantastic show, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, so I go first. Yeah. So we really have strong confidence in Delta Force, and we hope that you can join our open beta and try it for yourself. And also, don't forget to join our Discord. It's a really good community, and we've been keeping looking at it.
Yeah, saying about Discord, we want to tell you guys we really value our players and we are really listening to our players. So if there's any feedback or comments, just feel free to throw them. We kept seeing everything every day. We really value your feedback and we really appreciate you guys loving our game and enjoying our game. So we really appreciate having us today here, and let's just join the open beta and let's see what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Iris, Gibby, thank you so much. You have been an absolute pleasure to have on the broadcast, and I love all the details and excited to learn more. And like you said, let's just play the open beta and have a great time doing it. So thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure we'll see you in another broadcast down the line.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and goodbye.
All right. See ya.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Stone Landmark, before I send you two off, we got to reward the people at home, all right? We got our last giveaway of the day, and this is a big one, all right? So everybody tune in to the Delta Force Game official Twitch channel, because our last giveaway of the day are the IRL Mandel bricks, all right? For you to get these, by the way, you got to message the actual account. You got to whisper them on Twitch. It's very simple. Just click their account when they at you. But this one, let's just say thank you for this one. You got to be an active chatter. You can technically say whatever you want, but how about we type thank you to the devs? They've been so informative, giving us a lot of behind-the-scenes look. Say thank you in the chat, and you're going to be entered into this final giveaway of the day as we wrap up the broadcast for a chance to win a real-life Mandel brick. And reminder as well to turn off block whispers from strangers on Twitch. That might help you out a little bit. If you can't figure out how to whisper, we might be able to whisper you. Turn that off and figure it all out. But again, you just got to whisper the account. If you end up winning, we know who won because we'll say it on broadcast and we'll at you in chat. All right. So while we wait on that, I'm going to turn back to you two gentlemen. What a great day. Thanks for joining me. Stone, let's go to you first, man. What'd you think about today's broadcast, and any kind of closing thoughts on everything you've learned today?
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like there's updates for both of the modes coming. I'm very excited to hear that there's going to be jets in the game, and another avenue for those bigger maps in combat with it, as well as even being able to get alloy in there is pretty sick. Not being pay to win is awesome to hear. Yeah, I think obviously this is a lot of news. We've been going for over an hour and a half here of a lot of good information. And so, a lot of good updates for it. It's good to hear.
I love it, man. Well, before I send you off, I think everybody knows who you are and where they can find you, but give yourself a shout out, dude. Where can people tune into your streams whenever Delta Force drops?
Yeah, just search Stone Mountain 64. I'm live pretty much everywhere. So stop by, say what up. Mention this stream's always cool to hear, and yeah.
Love it. Well, thank you for joining us. Landmark, same question to you, man. Any kind of final thoughts on the broadcast as a whole, things we talked about, and then also shout yourself out. I think everybody knows you as well, but why not tell everybody where they can find you?
All right. Yeah. It was a great discussion. They hit the main concerns I think a lot of people have. It's always that pay to win, and it's always the anti cheat, right? So it's good to hammer home that they're focused on it. They're aware that they need to nail these things down for players to be interested in the game. But having the open beta free to play on Steam coming up soon is really exciting. So I'm excited to see what they add and what they're going to be bringing to the table that they've been withholding from us.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. That open beta is going to be a blast to see all the new content. All right, where can people find you? Where can they watch you and all your streams?
Landmark on Twitch with a V instead of an A. I'm live every day, so just stop by, say what's up, come hang out.
A true grinder. Gentlemen, you've both been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm sure I'll catch you at another broadcast down the line.
Likewise,
thanks for having us, man, as always.
Yeah, cheers. All right, folks, what a great day with some great devs and some great creators. Again, it's always a pleasure doing these broadcasts because we get to learn things. I'm a big fan of learning, all right? I'm decent at the game, but I'm a big fan of always learning something new, and I learn something new in every single one of these broadcasts. But the good news, too, is that you can learn who the winners are of our final giveaway, because the final couple things I have to say before we close this thing out is that Ultra Hot, Alup Johnson, and Andy76SWE, you are our final 3 winners of the IRL Mandelbricks. You can stop the spamming of the thank yous, but even still, a great day in the office, especially if you're one of those 3 people. Our account just added you. You can click that account name and whisper the official account saying, hey, I'm one of the winners. And if you do that and you're not a winner, it's just a waste of our time and a waste of yours because we know who the winners are. I just said them. So whisper that account so we can get you your IRL Mandelbricks. These things will take a while for production because they are literal physical Mandelbricks, but we will get them to you. So thank you for that. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you won it. And if not, there might be more down the line. Folks, before I close it all out, one more reminder, you heard it from the devs in their wrap-up thoughts. You've got to follow Delta Force on all major socials and join that Discord. It is the best way to get your questions answered. I saw a lot more questions in the chat and our streamers' chats of different questions you want answered. Go ask them in the Discord. Chances are they've probably already been answered, or they oftentimes will have Q&As in that Discord, so you can get everything you need to know from the Discord or other social medias. We pulled a lot of questions also from Twitter and X. Great place to do that as well. Okay, so drop the follow on all of those. And then final reminder, the open beta. I said it at the beginning of broadcast. We've been talking about it December 5th. It is right around the corner. And for those of you that are in the US, again, this is December 5th, GMT 0 at 0, aka midnight, which means for us in the US, it's actually December 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern time is when the game will actually launch. So this is a big, big moment for everybody at home that's been waiting for this game. We're almost there, folks. We are like 2 weeks away or something like that. I think I can do math. I think we're literally like 2 weeks away at this point for the open beta full launch. Make sure you go wishlist the game right now one final time on Steam before it launches. A great way to help out the team behind the scenes, support the team, and also just get notifications for when the game actually goes live in your time zone, because I know we've got viewers from all over the world at this point. But folks, as per the usual, we couldn't do it without you, the viewer. I've been Goj this entire time, and I always will be, but I've had a blast as your host throughout the course of this broadcast. And without you, we couldn't do it. So I appreciate you being here, and I'm sure we'll see you next week for another broadcast. A week and a day is where you're going to see that. You see the date and the time here on a Thanks for Watching screen. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll tune in next week to learn a lot more about the open beta.